Have you ever wondered why some people go through so many mental, physical, and emotional struggles? Could there be a greater purpose hidden behind each pain? At the beginning of the Bible, we find the story of Job, a righteous and God-fearing man who was tested in the most extreme ways. But have you ever thought that, besides his physical suffering and the loss of his possessions, Job also faced intense emotional and mental battles? Imagine yourself in his place. One day, everything is fine, and the next, you lose your family, your health, and your friends. How does the mind and spirit endure such suffering? This is the starting point for a fascinating and painful journey into how faith can transform our deepest struggles. Job, a man tested on every level. Job faced not only physical pain but also intense emotional and psychological anguish. His mind was haunted by questions and doubts, and he found himself with no answers. His friends, instead of offering support, judged him, suggesting that he somehow deserved the tragedies due to hidden sins. This type of emotional suffering, being misunderstood by those who should be offering comfort, is something that many of us, in our own mental or emotional struggles, know all too well. While Job endured, with no answers from God or relief from his pain, he showed us something powerful: the importance of faith, even in the darkest moments. He chose to trust in God, even when it seemed like God had abandoned him. And this leads us to reflect: how many times have we also felt this way? Could it be that our own pain has a purpose we'll only understand later? King Saul and mental struggles. Another example of mental struggle in the Bible is King Saul, who, after losing God's favor, began to be tormented by an evil spirit. His mind became restless, and he grew unstable, experiencing emotional highs and lows that drove him away from those he loved. In moments of despair, he sought comfort in David's music, and, for a brief moment, he seemed to find peace. This story shows us just how much a suffering mind may need help. Saul couldn't bring himself to ask for it, leading him down a path of isolation and despair. How many, today, suffer in silence, feeling they can't ask for help? What lessons does Saul's story offer to those facing internal battles? God teaches us that there is always someone ready to help, and that we must seek support when we can't face challenges alone. If you've read this far, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our channel, Biblical Tales and Prayers. There, we explore many other stories of endurance and faith, where people face internal struggles and find the strength to overcome them. Each subscription is important to help us share these messages of hope with more people. The New Testament and the healing of souls and bodies. When Jesus walked on earth, he brought healing to many who suffered from physical and mental illnesses. One of the most striking examples is the man possessed by a legion of demons, who lived among the tombs, in total despair. He was so tormented that no one could control him, and everyone avoided him. Yet when Jesus approached, he didn't see just a lost man. He saw someone worthy of healing and transformation. By freeing this man, Jesus showed that no mind or body is beyond restoration. This transformative encounter teaches us that, no matter how deep our suffering, there is always hope for a renewed life. And the question that remains is, are we willing to open ourselves to that healing? God can transform us completely, just as he did with this man. Don't miss out on following this and other powerful stories on the Biblical Tales and Prayers channel. Your subscription helps us spread the word and bring hope to many. The Apostle Paul and the thorn in the flesh. Paul, one of the greatest evangelists of the New Testament, endured what he called a thorn in the flesh, something that troubled him deeply, and many believe it could have been a debilitating physical or mental condition. He repeatedly prayed for God to remove this pain, but God's answer was clear: "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Paul's experience reminds us that, sometimes, our difficulties are not removed. Instead, God strengthens us to bear them. Often, our struggles can teach us more about God's strength in us than any easy victory. And have you considered that your own thorn might have a purpose you don't yet understand? The resilience of faith. Throughout the Bible, we see that human suffering, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, is an undeniable part of the human condition. But what sets us apart is the faith we carry through these dark valleys. For Job, the answer came when he fully surrendered to God, acknowledging that he couldn't understand everything. For Paul, the answer was realizing that his weakness was an opportunity to experience God's power. God sees and understands every pain, even those we can't explain to others. And just as he restored so many throughout history, he also wants to restore our lives. So, why does God allow some people to suffer so intensely? The answer lies in each person's journey. For some, suffering is a path to healing for their souls, as it was for the man possessed by demons. For others, it's a test of faith, like Job's. And for many, it's a way to experience God's power in their lives, like Paul. If you'd like to keep following these stories of endurance and restoration, don't forget to subscribe to Biblical Tales and Prayers. Let's seek answers together and strengthen our faith, for there is a purpose in all that God allows. May He give us the strength to face every battle with courage and hope.